Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? This is Dr. Rao coming online, maybe a little late, few minutes early, but I'm here, so I might as well open the rooms, and hopefully people will join us. Welcome, Kelsey. You're the first one to come. It's good. So it's almost a week now, right, since I started this, and it's going well. A few days, I didn't have anybody to come up and talk, but they were in the audience, in the Wisdom or the Clubhouse, and also I do it on the Restream, several channels together. That way it's much more convenient for me and saves the time for everybody too. So this room, I felt that we should be having a habit of calming our mind with all this new technology and so much information overload, so many things we are doing, so much of obstruction that was happening, right? So I felt what I was doing, which was in the morning and in the evening, I take a few moments to really get myself together, reflect, and then review the reactions and deliberately try to make my mind kind of, more like it makes much easier to repair my mind that way, rather than other colleagues that I see. They have problem with the documentation, EMR, and then it takes them late into the night sometimes, and then they get up in the morning and again they have to rush to the work, and they don't have the time to have the self-care. So one of the chief things in my self-care is this attending to the mind, taking care of it, right? So I always talk about these 4 pillars of wellness in my comprehensive care plan. I talk to my colleagues and the healthcare workers and IT professionals how we need to attend to food, activity, exercise, sleep, and meditation, or calming the mind down. So it's something I think in the rush of things, in the rush of the life, we kind of neglect that part, and which has become more important now with so much of technology coming into our life, which is not bad. It should help us to improve our life, not to, but it's a question of us using the technology, how we are doing it. Are we doing it for the right way, and also aware of what it can do? Like, for example, the social media, people talk all the time, right? But then the social media is more like a very difficult thing to a lot of people to break, and then really take a good look at it. What is going on here? The distractions that were planned by the people because they want to do their business, things to us. They send us notifications, people distractions that happen. So I was kind of worried about that, and then as I heard, the attention span has gone down from 12 seconds to 9 seconds. It's less than the goldfish, I was told. So it's not good for our kids as a whole, and also for us to enjoy anything, we need to really take a little bit awareness, right? So that's what I felt that we should be paying attention to. Have been doing lectures on digital toxicity, how I have seen a lot of anxiety patients, a lot of depression patients, and a lot of relationship were spoiled because of this. Attention spans have gone down, and people are also burning out too, and they come for the treatments and all that, right? So that's something. If you trace it, it comes to where people are not really able to focus, develop their attention span, and really enjoy whatever they are doing. So with our doctors is mainly the information overload, and also the system is really not helping us to realize what we want to do. So that's a different topic. But then basically there's a lot of information overload in the medicine, which is uh, good for the patients and for ourselves if you use it properly. But then it should not tax us, should not really make our mind work through that, right? So that's why I kind of took on the bandwagon, and I've been talking about digital toxicity for a lot of years now. What happened was uh, people responded to that because that kind of induced good sleep and are able to come up with a lot of energy. That's a simple fact that a lot of my colleagues took it because as doctors, we were called in the middle of the night all the time, right? So we had to sleep. So that's how it started. But now, Chat GPT and other AI tools have come. I really love the tools. I'm using them very well. But at the same time, that is going to leave us a lot of time, right? If you can accomplish your jobs much more quickly, much more accurately, that's good. I think I'm having a good time with the Chat GPT as a whole. But how are you going to manage your mind when you are alone? That's what I was talking about. If you can manage your uh, time well and your brain well, I think that's a very good thing. Uh, because a lot of people who are coming in here are really not able to use their mind in the sense that they cannot live with themselves sometimes, right? So they have to find some escape, and that escape is maybe good, maybe not good. But most of the time it's not good. Okay, they drink, they smoke, they do the drugs, and they go all those things. But you can take a vacation, you can do a music, and a lot of good things you can do. But more than that, when you are left alone, how do you manage your mind? That's where this calming the mind, reflecting on things, reviewing our reactions to life, all those things are very, very important, right? So that's why I thought we should have a room where I can tell people, calm yourself. Hi, Lydia. So, uh, it's a kind of need of the information age where we do pay attention to how are we using our mind. Are we really making do a morning, evening, and all that? But there are other ways where you can be meditative all day. That means you are kind of basically relaxed and also don't react that quickly to the events. But at the same time, you kind of enjoy the work and be joyful in whatever you are doing. And thereby your mind is in flow, and where you are not having a lot of unnecessary reactions, unnecessary secretion of stress hormones and all that. Okay, so it's a very important, even to be healthy, we need to have a practice where we are not really agitated, first of all, but we have to have a practice to calm our body down, mind down, emotions down. I think there's maturity too, right? Young people may be more reacting quicker than people like me who are older too. But then there is another way of keeping yourself quiet all the time, even when you are engaged in work. So one principle of productivity is you can engage in work without having this interference of extraneous thoughts to the job. So that means you are having to drive a car, for example. You are driving with attention to the road and what's going on, rather than getting lost in thought, okay, thought world, and then really forgetting what is happening around us. That's kind of thing we see a lot of times, right? And people are always thinking ahead, or are always thinking in the past, right? So they're never in the present, but the present is the life for me, for everybody, I think, as a matter of fact. So cultivating this calmness of mind is very important. Today I added something else for that. Do people experience silence and the beauty of the silence in the middle of the hubbub of life? That is a question for the modern people to consider. I have tasted that silence, and that's really a nectar. It kind of replenishes. When I think about that and all the periods, for example, today I got up at 4 o'clock. I just get up between 3:30 and 5 o'clock. So I got up, and I was listening to something very, very profound by Ramana Maharshi. It's called Ulladu Narpadu. That means 40 verses on the reality. It's a profound poem, and then I was enjoying that. Actually, the commentary and all that went up to 45 minutes or so. But then, world is quiet. Nobody calling me on the phone, or no messages, and of course, I'm not going to answer the phone and messages anyway in that hour. So usually they don't. Then I was enjoying that tranquility in the nature, and it was calm, and there was no hesitation and all that. So being in touch with what's going on in the nature, and then being in touch with what's going on within me, all that happens at the same time. And then you're landed up in the awareness, and you listen to elevated thought at the time, okay, so that you're not into the gossip or political or any of the entertainment, none of that. So then you wake up to the elevated thoughts and nobility that is behind, the noble person that's behind all that. And then I had a satsang, that means meeting of people with people from India and from here. And that was more like a listening to a couple of very, very beautiful songs. One song is about what is the role of a human being, how does he respond to the troubles of other people, like that. A very nice song. And the other song is how you can find the God within you, the Godhood. That doesn't mean egotistically we are the God, not that. God, Buddhahood, Christhood, or whatever you call it, and the same thing is in everybody. So, by the way, I'm not into one particular religion anymore, but I take everything from every religion too. So that division is not there also. So enjoying that silence, even in the middle of those couple of activities, was really nectar. It's called, in Sanskrit, it's called ananda, blissfulness, peace itself, happiness itself. You don't need anything else. Like it feels like that. So I thought I will share that word. Not that you will get it just like that, but first of all, you may be aware of. First of all, the question is: do you stop to calm your mind? And if you stop, what's the experience like? What is going on in the mind? Can you watch them apart from you? Because thoughts happen to you. You don't happen to the thoughts. That means thoughts are external to you. So be the watcher that you already are. And then the thoughts will come if you don't indulge in them, if you don't suppress them, especially if you are not doing anything else, they just spring up, and then compulsively they come, and you don't want to give life to them. So you just observe them, let them come, raise, and then subside. then they go away. And after the thoughts boiled up like that, then you will come to this. That means you have calmed the mind already. You will come to this silent state that you experience yourself. Okay, so that's the kind of nectar of silence I was talking about. I added it here so that people can, if they are experiencing it, fine, they can come and share with us. There's no authority here. We're just exchanging experiences. So, and then if you have any questions related to any of the practices, any of the doubts or suggestions, please come up. And my friend is here, uh, so I'll talk to her first. Titilia, how are you?
Hello. Good evening, Dr. Rao. How are you?
I am great.
Oh, that's good to hear your voice. So, yeah, I just popped in. I just saw that you were speaking, and I said, okay, let me see what's going on. And I was listening, to what you were saying, about calming the mind, and something that you said about the thoughts that are happening to you, and I have noticed that with the practice of not only meditation and mindfulness and deep breathing, that my mind is clearer, and thoughts are coming to me, and so I'm directed. I would say I'm more focused on my goals as a result. That I'm able to, hear the thoughts, that are coming to me to lead me in terms of what to do, what not to do, when to exercise patience, when to be calm, when to not react to situations. And I think that comes from me just tapping into source and that energy and that power through the meditation, through the deep breathing. The more that I actively seek to tap into that power, the more that I'm calm. And it's funny, I can be calm anywhere. I can. It's weird. I can be at home because I work a lot from home, so I'm in for a lot of the day when most people are out and running around. And sometimes I even forget. I like to go outside every afternoon to just walk and do what I have to do. But I feel so at peace at home. And my apartment is small, but I just feel like I'm almost like in a cocoon or nest or something. I feel great. Even sometimes I don't go outside where I would normally drive someone crazy being in four walls all day, but everything is great. And I think because it comes from within, I'm tapping into that source, the source that is the universe and a source of all life that's within all of us. And it's true, it does exist in all the religions. They talk about it.
See, it doesn't really come. It is already there, and we just took over the covers from it, and it is coming back. It's not like it is produced by something, but rather what is covered over, we are removing it. That's why already there for you, and it's coming up. It's not like a thing that was produced now. But only thing is that is what the statement may say. You all want realization, self-realization, but you're already realized. The only thing is you need to realize that by taking away the what's called avarana, that means covered over. So like for example, you go to a dark room and you see a snake-like thing on the corner, but actually it is a rope. But your imagination runs, and then you feel like it's a snake. It has scales, it has movement, and all that, right? But what happened there was your reality of the rope was covered by your imagination of a snake, or your feeling of a snake and all that. Fear and all that comes. But actual practice, the rope was there. But we created everything else like that. This calmness of mind is there, silence is there, and what you are feeling, that peace and happiness is already there, then all we have to realize that is what is that we are doing. There are three words I will tell you in Sanskrit. Uh, Mala vikshepa avarana. Mala means dirt. We kind of accumulate a lot of dirt in our mind, you know, so much of, because when you go and do something, that something is fine when you do it with full attention. But around that, it may have so many things that were conditioned into you, like this is that, that is that. If I do this, I'll have this. I'll have standing in the society, whatever, right? Um, that all is extraneous to what your life is, and then maybe you are never let go some memories, or you are creating some projections. All that accumulates as unnecessary thoughts, and that we call the mala. That is uh, basically better word mala is indicates that's unnecessary thing and wasted thing, and also remnant of our previous thoughts and all of that. So you got to eliminate that by being selfless worker, kind of. And then that is the karma yoga, they call it, right? Selfless work. And then vikshepa means all your thoughts going all over. They have no direction. They're going to one time I'm here, and next time I'm in my India, and I'm coming back, and I'm in the USA with somebody, Texas and all that. So I let my thought vagabond, travel all over. I think everybody experiences this, right? But if you do not develop the urgency or intentionality of doing things, then this will be spreading all over, right? So that is the vikshepa. What do you do for that? Bring them all together, concentrate. And then after concentration, and just come to one thought and stay there and go beyond it. So that is called Raja Yoga, kind of a yoga of concentration, right? And then third thing is avarana. The truth is covered over by our incessant activity of thought. Thought itself is not bad, but thought, how it is used, is important. Hi, Sanya, welcome. Sanya, are you there?
Yeah, I was just driving. Sorry, Dr. Rao. 5 minutes.
Yeah, sure, no problem. I hope, Taitla, you know Sanya. Sanya is my friend. She comes on and off. She also takes the wellness club once in a while, and we talk about a lot of these kind of things slowly. But this room I was doing mainly because I felt the technology is outpacing us, and people are need to know that they have to protect the mind. It's not like before. This is like if the technology was running 20 times before, now it's like 1,000 times. All these artificial tools come. So with that, they are kind of addicted much more. They are doing a lot of stuff. Even I was doing a lot of stuff because I found that was very helpful to my work, and I accomplished a lot of things within a short time compared to what I was doing before. So I was very grateful, extremely happy that this thing has come. But then my main thing is spiritual sadhana. I call it sadhana means practice of those things. One of these things is come and share what we think is useful for our friends and followers here. That's why I said I will do it for a prolonged one, because I don't want anybody to listen and go. I want them to listen, practice, and find the problems and come. That's why I put a 40 days limit for this. I already did 7 days so far. So if there somebody is doing something with it, and then they have a roadblock or something, or they're not able to really tolerate it, whatever things come up. I have been doing this since 1985, and I went into various ways of calming the mind. So, as a physician, as a yoga person, as a Advaita Vedanta person, so many ways, right? It's very fascinating, the human brain, and we are kind of abusing it. The danger is if you don't do it very young, and then you let these unnecessary thoughts or your unconscious thoughts or your compulsive thoughts accumulate, accumulate, they actually form kind of a brain for you. Is there different where the neural paths happen, and they with neuroplasticity we see that we can create our own mind, our own brain, right? Yoga also talked about some skaras, the same thing as engrams here, and they can be unconscious thoughts that are done again and again. They form a neural connection and a groove in your brain. Then they come up if you don't want it, even 60s, 70s, you will go. That's the danger. That's why I want to children to have a time out, to have a play time, to have something. You see, this obsession with iPads from the childhood, not even from the infancy, we are kind of changing rewiring their mind in a way. It's good, in a way it is kind of has to be carefully taken care of. If people are not aware of this kind of thing, they won't even take care of it. So, and I see with technology exploding, we will do a lot of stuff with it, and then we'll be left alone with a lot of time. Then what are you going to do with your mind? Sitting alone, a mind can create heaven and hell out of inactivity. That's also there. So these are the, I'm not saying everybody will go like that, but I have seen enough people become vegetables in their mind, not enjoying their life, or not able to contribute anything like that. You see, I am now 68, but I have new challenges I have taken up that exhilarates me. So I'm living, I'm experiencing, I'm learning new things and all that, right? So that is life, I think, but you can choose to be slow, you can choose to be relaxed and enjoy the relationship. That's also okay. But then this even Sanya was telling me the other day, she's also addicted to this artificial intelligence thing, and then doing it. I did prolong the time, but I'm not addicted at all because I always look this external to self. Okay, so I like to be in that real self, which is very peaceful and all that. Okay, what do you say? Hello, Telia, are you there?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I'm here, Dr. Rao. Yeah. I've been listening into what you had to say. Yeah. Just listening. Hello, Sonia. Hello, Ruby. There's something you said, about pacing your mind.
Yeah.
How technology is moving faster than us, and it's true. We have access to so many things right now, and it's overwhelming, and we are becoming more addicted, like you said, and it's if we're not in control of ourselves. I think it's it's better for older people because we lived at a time, people over 40, we lived at a time where there was no technology. But for the younger generation, I definitely see it as being a problem more and more in the future because now with all of this technology, people are losing have the inability to think for themselves. Everything is done for them, and then you're right, the brain does become inactive. You become a vegetable in your brain, and I don't think people have really. I have done studies on the effects of how technology is affecting, especially this generation, Gen Z, but I don't know. They'd have to look more for the next 10 years of how, especially with the kids are that, and the AI and the bots, how that is going to continue to affect this generation.
Ruby, welcome. How are you? Ruby? Maybe she is busy. See, what I was talking about the kids the other day. They are wired differently. They know a lot more than the previous generations, and they are aware of a lot of things, which is good in a way. But at the same time, one guy told me he's a brilliant guy in the AI. He's only 13 years old, but he told me he cannot stop thinking even for a minute, and that has this long-term consequential effect. I know with the neuroplasticity studying and yoga studying and all that, I know if you let the thoughts run amok on their own, they will form the brain that you don't want it. There is something about being efficient with thought. That means, when can I really use the thought properly versus let the thought run me? So for example, if I'm talking in this room, I'm trying to communicate something with my friends, some concern that I have, some understanding I have. I'm trying to convey them. Uh, but why should my mind have this like, oh, I'm going to build a business on this, I'm going to do all of it? None of it. Then what it is you're not coming with any ulterior motives, but you are true to what you are talking about, and then you convey that, and then doesn't mean that everybody has to agree with that. What it means is, pay attention to it and see whether it is real or not. Think about it, and then you can do your own research and investigation. But then at the end of it, if one person really understands this and develops a practice of deliberately being calm certain times of that's I will be very happy. Twice a day, if you have a practice where you can calm down, and also during the work, during the life, you can notice, am I driven by my chatter? Am I driven by my thoughts? Am I driven by all these things? I have no control. If somebody says something, immediately I start out feeling bad about it, and then thinking, somebody who slaps you, you go to slap again, again, again by remembering that. That happens with a lot of changes, a lot of people. So, is that needed? That's the question. Okay. So when you are really efficient with the thought, you use thought for your job, for your external thing, but you don't let it dictate your inner life. That's my point. You got it, Ridley?
Hi, Dr. Rao.
Hi,
Hello,
Ruby.
everyone. Sorry, I couldn't unmute myself. It took me a minute. But
That's
thank
okay.
you. I resonate so much with everything you say, Dr. Rao. I feel so much peace, and I feel at home when I hear you talk, because I resonate so completely with what you say.
Yeah.
Because I'm still practicing how to remain still and then paying attention whenever it's chaotic. Like I learn from it when it gets chaotic that I don't like it.
Yeah.
I learn from it every time we show up that I don't like it. Yeah. And so I find my way back to my center. I find my way back to my peace. Yeah. And I love to be there. Like, I love to be there. I'm never alone, because I'm always with spirit, and there's so much peace that comes to me, and so much clarity. And I just feel better in silence. I don't feel the need to go and talk to everybody and be in it. Like, it's very different from how I used to be. I used to be like that, but
you see, once you taste that,
really enjoys what you teach. Like, I'm so grateful for you. Thank you for what you do.
Like you are saying, once you really taste that inner peace and happiness itself, that is so good compared to all these external things we have, and and then it's not like an addiction. It's more like a really understanding being a human being means what, and how you can. That's why I put this new thing: enjoy the nectar of silence, because everybody has to experience it. Otherwise, however much I describe, it's not going to be your experience. You just try it and experience it. So this exercise I'm doing it, Ruby. I don't know, you were here last week. I was doing every day. I'm just want to be simple exercise that people may do it, may not do it. Some may be doing advanced things too. But this is for somebody, a modern man who is overloaded with information, who is having these reactions very quickly and not able to complete the work or enjoy the work or sleep well. And then people have problems in their relationship with their spouses, with their boyfriends and girlfriends, because they are short, they are kind of reacting very, because without even thinking, they react like that. So what it is sympathetic overload is more in our work patterns now, because we imagine a lot of danger out there with everything, and then we react like it's a danger. Oh, let me put up my sympathetic overload, and then I will go to fight or fight or something. That is not really needed. The reactions will go down if only we do simple thing of deep breathing. The deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the antidote for the sympathetic overload. So what we are going to do today, brief exercise. Actually, we are going to do it, and everybody hold your questions till we're done, and then we'll talk about it. So, okay, are you ready to do that, Ruby? Now, I'm going to demonstrate for everybody and do it.
Absolutely, I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. What it is always try to select the place and time as much as possible the same. Okay, if you can do it every day in the morning, that's good. Every day in the evening, that's good. I recommend you do twice a day. Okay, and then that will be very good. Okay, now place and time is determined. You go to the place, same place, take a seat, avoid all the distractions, TV, mobiles, avoid them, and then sit down with your both feet on the ground. Okay, both feet means toes, soles, and the ground. And then keep your spine straight and neck straight, and then keep your arms comfortably, and close your eyes and close your mouth and take deep breaths in and out, right? In 7 count, hold it for 4 count, and breathe out for 8 count. When you take a deep inward breath, let the abdomen rise. And then when you're taking deep breath out, let the abdomen go to the spine. That's how. Okay. So let us start 5 times first, just breathing. Then the next 5 times we're going to feel the sensation on the nose. And the next 5 times, what we'll do, we'll say, I'm not just this body and mind, but I am that awareness behind the body and mind. Okay. When you take a deep breath, you say, I am this awareness. And then when you breathe out, you say, I'm not just this body and mind. 3 stages. Okay, let's first do the first one. Just deep breathe in, hold it, and breathe out. Okay, let's do. Okay, second set. Now feel the air coming in and out. Feel the sensation on the nose it makes it. Okay, be attentive. That way you can tie your mind to the sensation. Okay, 5 more times. This time feeling the touch of the air and the nose. Okay, and now you kind of take deep breath in. Say, excuse me. I needed a glass of water. I did get it. Okay, sorry about that. But then now, last one, you take a deep breath and say, I am that awareness behind the thought. And then when you breathe out, say, I'm not just this body and mind. Let's start. See, that is the exercise. But there are several components involved. You can extend, you can talk about it, you can understand it. But the essential thing is, at the end of it, no talk, just to do the exercise. If you have any particular thoughts coming up, don't indulge, don't suppress them. Just watch them like they are coming in the sky, like a cloud coming in the sky, comes up, goes through the sky, and goes away. Like that, you try to objectify the thoughts, try to be the watcher, and that will really separate you. And then slowly you will end up all the thoughts that are buried in the subconscious come up and they empty themselves. But if you do that every day at the dawn and the dusk, that's a good time because you are transitioning from awakeness to sleep or sleep to awakeness. So mind is very vulnerable during those times. If you do that, like you start the day with the clean slate of the mind, and then you end the day with a clean slate of the mind, that will be done day in, day out. You kind of rewiring the mind, and that's very good for you. Any questions, any experiences, any problems, let me know.
No, that was beautiful on my part. Thank you. I learn every time I step into spaces like this, and I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. Sorry, I was driving around today, so.
That's okay. Driving is a good thing to meditate too, so long as you don't fall asleep. Yeah. So this is the exercise I'm doing. I'm kind of telling some things opened up. Some people have a lot of deep questions, and we are happy to talk about it. But essentially, this I recommend people come as many times as they can, or even if they don't come, if they can do that at home, twice a day, with all these principles where you are avoiding stimuli and your mind making reactions, you are kind of taking hold of that control that you have. And then, like Ruby was saying, she was enjoying that experience. And that once you get to that stage, nobody need to push you. You will be doing this all the time. So this other part, I put it there, the nectar of silence. That's where you are going eventually. Initially, it's just like even understanding, yeah, my mind is running. Is it chattering? Do I have to have it? What's the consequences? Maybe people have not paid attention to it. That's why I'm bringing attention to that as a health issue, as something down the line you don't want to regret. Like I was told about this, but I did not do it, and I kind of put myself at the mercy of the technology. And now I start to being a human being in the sense I'm not humanly experiencing things and enjoying things or relating to people and all that. And that is something that was going on for the last 2 decades when the technology, but these days with the smartphones, especially 2014 and later, a lot of things we are seeing as physicians that bothered me. Teenagers, for example, 189% increase since 2014 up until 17, 18 or something they did, and that was very alarming. And Jonathan Haidt is the one who wrote an article on this in Atlantic, and he is the one who is responsible with this bill that they passed in Utah about parental permission has to be there for the kids to get on the social media. I thought that was a good measure they put it, and then I'm not surprised that uh, that
Good night, Dr.
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking, but I was muted.
Yeah, I was wondering. I'm like, going back and forth. I'm like, did my mic went up?
No, I'm sorry. I was talking about this uh, this bill that they passed in Utah about kids needing the permission of the parents to be on the social media. That was inspired by Jonathan Haidt, who is a social psychologist and all that. He wrote a paper recently in Atlantic that there was 189% increase in teenage suicides from 2000. What is that? 14 onwards, I think 2010 or something, when the smartphone came. Ever since they saw this, especially Instagram, that was there. So he worked on this bill behind the scenes, and then the governor came and they told about his name also. I know about him, that's why I thought I will relay here. But basically, there's a lot of damage going on because people are using these things without understanding what are the consequences. That's why I want to bring them to, and I don't want to scare people. I'm not against technology. I use technology with real purpose, and also I appreciate the breakthroughs that people have. But then technology is not going to solve the human problems. We can make the technology make it much worse. So you have to be careful about it.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of technology, there's going to be the extremes, right? Where because it is a tool and people can use it for whatever in terms of good, bad, and all of these.
Oh, yeah. But right? my thing is health concern. How you can be more of anxiety, more of attention deficit, more of depression, and more of this lack of sleep and the consequences, problems with instant reactionary attitude that is causing problems with the relationship. People fight on small things too. And also this, and they become older in 60s and 70s, they will have this running of the mind. That is what people are not really aware of it. This is called forming this neuroplasticity, new brain, wired brain. It's not going to take away the data. Like we can take away the data is a one click on the delete with the computer, but with the mind, it's not so, because that's what people are not realizing it when they expose themselves to so much of external data. See, a lot of people don't take a break to the nature, don't take a walk in the street, and also they are hooked to the TV life from morning till night, and then again in the morning. So that's constant exposure. And then these people are creating more like avatars and all the artificial things. I think that may be fun, but then we may be losing our real self and then we're embracing the avatar. Everybody knows to Sonia the avatar, but rather than Sonia. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the yeah. That's the we don't have to. Already there's so much, because what you are on the social media may not be really you. You may be pretending, you may be projecting some image, but people feel like, why don't I really project something which I'm not? And then, unless they are vetted very well, people may project whatever they want to, right? That is there too. So there are dangers, but I don't want to be alarmist because I'm not negative about that. I use the very well, this kind of thing, So we'll see. It's all a question of understanding importance of thinking and what it needs to maintain. You see, otherwise you are succumbed by. There are these people, advertisers, other people. They really go for your psychodynamics and then sell things so that your attention will grab. That's the main thing, right? Is they want to grab your attention somehow, and so they have people who create these distractions. They are paid enormous amount of money. So they kind of their job is to do that, and when they do that, these things come, right?
Yeah, I, I, in terms of technology, I just love in terms of efficiency and looking at, of course, in terms of we have all those memories of the how tos
Yeah.
and the whole collective of information, right?
Yeah.
Collection of all of those things. So I just got excited that I don't have to like cram that into my brain.
Yeah. I'm very happy too.
Versus, and then basically just using it as a tool to speed things up is my thing, right? It's just,
I'm very happy too, Sanya, because I'm not against that. But what I'm saying is, we pay attention to what can happen to the mind and what can happen to the brain and all that, because I treat people with burnout, people with overwhelm or really information overload. I see that, but other people don't get to see that much. That's why.
You also taught me how to wipe it after each patient, right?
Yeah.
So, after each session of the
the trick
going
is
into the technology, then I can swipe it too, right? Doing that.
The trick is, once you learn that, it doesn't seem that a big deal. But if you don't learn it, years may pass on before you realize something is happening in your mind. That's the thing. It's kind of hidden, and it takes over. There are deeper philosophical things on this. What's called, there is no mind. There are only thoughts.
Yeah, I like what you said about the thoughts too.
Yeah.
The message to me, right?
Oh yeah, somebody told you about the positivity bad, right? No. What they were meaning is, suppose you are hung up on certain things, positivity and all that. Suppose somebody has a death in their family, and you come and you say, immediately I say, oh, death is not real. It's all, Atma is always permanent. I mean, that looks really bad, because they are going through their conditions certain way. They are going through the actual fact there is the person is in suffering, right? And then so at the time, acknowledgement, understanding, and providing support is very important. But then the positivity comes through the support too. So you if you are having to do whatever that is present to you, what is in front of you, that is with the moment, then it takes a completely different color. On the other hand, but if you want to say negative, when something negative is happening, you want to deepen the negativity. So the person who wrote that are kind of, they have to look at themselves, what they are doing at what time, then they will be. But then positivity as toxicity, that itself negative. It's not positive at all. So as a there is a cynical attitude. So people don't want to, like they say, if you are good, they say you are bad. What?
It's the wording, right? It's
Yeah.
like, how can it be toxic and positive?
But also, the cool means this dude is cool means that he can break the code, and then he can do all the jamming and everything. That's cool. So the kind of even Indian scenario, Sanya, Some kids are, one guy comes and says that he wants to play with the dirt, and he wants to, uh, that is something we will not, approve at all. But he has a lot of fun. He thinks that's very, very good to do. So there's a kind of perversion thinking going on. I thought this toxicity or the positivity is like that too. It's like a perversion for me. No, the way I look at it. But you know what? Ultimately, it's not positive or negative, but it is just a thought. What happens is, if it is positive, you bloom, and if it is negative, you go down. That vacillation, that movement of thought is what you need to understand. Then you're already in your peaceful self, not in the movement of thought either way. And once you understand that, but most of the people are not even aware of that thoughts are coming, and they are kind of become chatter for them, and they don't leave them. Either they have to take a pill, or they have to take a drink or smoke to calm it down. I don't think that's all necessary. If you understand the mechanism of thought, the career of the thought, the usefulness of thought, and what it can become as a problem, all those things are very, very important. See?
Yeah. Yeah, and I just find that sometimes, it's the understanding part. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like people who say they're busy and they're always like, their mind is busy.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it is. And they don't take time to understand or absorb the things around them, right? And so really underwear, even opening up to, looking at the actual meaning of the article itself, right?
Yeah.
And
exactly.
So I just find that interesting because, if
No,
that's
once
how
you
people view or how they want to, like,
yeah.
I don't see yourself fitting in any of those labels, right?
Yeah. I mean, again, that whoever said, "Are you like this?" What they're talking about is, this is a fundamental difference. Sonia, you want to understand. Are they talking about your personality, the ego, or whatever it is, or are they talking about the real you underneath? Most of the problems come because people identify with their conditioned ego or personality, and they forget there's something deeper that is within them, and that is what I'm talking about all the time. But once you touch that and establish that, you can use your brain and mind or body as tools. You won't become body conscious or mind conscious, or you don't limit yourself to body consciousness and mind consciousness. Once you are the body mind consciousness, then you are victim of your senses. You are victim of your intellect also. You see, lot of that I see all the time. So they lost the touch with their peaceful, serene, calm inner self, and they are being run by this chatterbox. You get it? So that is fundamentally what the ancients said about what are you? Are you put together some thoughts from childhood that people are telling you, and then you're trying to understand it, or can you put all that aside and turn? It's very difficult for unless you're spiritually adapt. People may not even understand that, and let alone feeling it. And even if you realize that, staying in that is a big struggle. Takes a lot of understand a lot of things, right? So to come to that stage is like a blessing, and then you can see everything very clearly. You don't have to judge anybody, because forgive them, my Father, for they know not what they are doing. What it means is they don't know who they are. That's why they are behaving like that. They are propelled by their conditioning, propelled by their mind, propelled their body reactions and all that. So that's why Ancient cultures and modern cultures, the difference is ancient cultures were trying to control senses, right? Whereas modern cultures, they kind of want to free rein to the senses. They take wherever they take, and that's such a waste of energy and such a regressive path. That's why people, after tragedy or something, they come to these things. Otherwise, they are kind of, doing it. Hi, Nazli. She's here too, so that's good. She came at the end, though. Maybe if she wants to come up, we will ask her to come up and say. So that fundamental issue is there. Actually, the way I see it is, they had exploded in that. Okay, whereas modern times exploded external technology to make it comfort and so many advances. They conveniently forgot this inner angle. And now people are trying to come to that. A lot of people are trying to come to that. That's why I get so much response when I talk about that. And then people are really, they are on the journey, and they want to find more of it. So, uh, did I tell you four classifications of people's practices?
I don't think so.
Okay. Uh, there are people who are instinctive, and they just eat, they just sleep, and then they sit, and then they will be like that, right? These people are called pamara. Okay, they don't know anything else, anything better, right? And second one is they plan the life. They want some good things in life. They want to enjoy things. They want to do jobs certain way. And all of that. These are called vishayi. Vishayi means they're involved in the materialistic pursuit. They don't want any inner knowings or any spiritual stuff, anything like that. No? And the third one is sadhaka. That means he knows there's a spiritual revolution and all of that, and he practices to get there. You know. And the fourth one is siddha. That means he already established in that spiritual self and enjoys the life that way, and then he can handle problems very easily because he already has the wherewithal of that, not the physical skills and all that, but understanding and deep but then clarity is there. That clarity itself is a big deal. Okay, but after clarity, if you can establish yourself, stabilize yourself, that's called sthita prajnata, you know. And then at the end of life, you can have liberation from all this in your mind. uh, that is called jivan mukta. So they evolved all these wonderful things, and then you know what, they were not of a one particular religion. Hindus, Jains, or Buddhists, everybody has that. Even Christians, there are so many older people that have done this. So there's a, if you go this way, Sanya, like you want to make a living, you want to enjoy things, you want to all of that. It's not wrong at all, but that's called bhoga. But that will not give you towards this inner peace and all of that, right? You may be not aware of certain things, but then what about all the suffering going on in the world? The wars, the violence, the so many things, right? Going on, racism and money inequality, so many things are going on. Whereas a spiritual person sees this direction of inward, where he can really realize that, and he can be very quiet, very nice, even in the presence of enormous calamity around him. And he helps the situation too. Okay, so that rhythm that come from that silent mind is a very profound, and it does affect a lot of us. For example, there is a administrator, for example. He worked very hard, and then he made himself so tough, and he was walking over everybody. He was climbing the ladder of success, but he is prodding on several people to climb that ladder of success. The person who is prodded on, he feels like I have to climb that too, but I don't have the chance. I was not given. So that suffering goes on. But then the person who has really saw the ladder of success is not the way for his inner peace, he will go the other way, right? Then even if he does money, even if he has success, they will put it in the right place. So that's why, as human beings, because we have that intelligence, animals don't have it, we can turn and see what it is what. We know about the past, we know about the future, but we can stay in the present with awareness and enjoy the humanness inside. That is really a spark of light. At that light, we call it as divine. You understand the profoundness of it? So, but if you want to just enjoy your life, just want to be a bhoga, but you may have to realize that at the end of it, it's not for wrong or anything, But then the people who have gone inward and realized who they are, and they stabilize themselves, that's very, very tough. But usually it depends upon their spiritual aptitude and how they work. But there are certain people in between that they know this, they want it, but then they grab at the vishay, that means worldly things, and that is going on a lot too. But there are some genuine people that really turn inward. They don't need anything. They are happy for what they are, But then some people, they feel it's their duty to come and serve everybody. There's a thing, I wrote it on my whiteboard. It's called Siva Gnana Jiva Seva. Shiva means this ultimate consciousness, pure consciousness. That is the life. That is the light that everybody has, right? So, Gnana, that means everybody has it. You have it, I have it, everybody has it. And when I serve you, I'm not serving Sanya, the lady. I'm serving that light within you. That is Siva Gnana. I know about that light. Jiva. In that Jiva, there is that, in her being, there is that light. Seva means I'm serving. I'm trying to, help, that kind of thing. It's a big deal.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. I have to go.
Okay.
So,
All right, it's already 8 o'clock.
Thank you very much.
Somebody wants to come up. I don't know who it is.
Yeah, Nestle and Angela, if you want to come up, you're welcome to. Okay.
Angela is there. Okay. Hi.
Hello, Dr. Rao.
Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I just thought of asking you a question regarding calming your mind. I saw this topic on the list. I'm not sure at what level of awareness I am in right now. I'm just trying to practice being aware and letting go all my worries and things. I'm trying to be more now the state that I have achieved is I don't have any desires and I don't have any I feel a release.
Yeah.
Peaceful and solitude, happy with my company.
Yeah.
But I think that I am not. It's kind of now kind of a clean sheet, I'm a whiteboard where I don't have anything to do. So I feel so. There's nothing more to achieve.
Yeah.
Not interested in anything.
Are you happy? Do you feel happy?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Are you peaceful?
Yes, at times, but it's a kind of graph.
Graph, yeah.
I try. And at the moment, I'm not peaceful.
Yeah.
just fluctuating sometimes. But I was in a phase for a long time where I was completely in this peaceful solitude
Yeah.
kind of mindset where I was like completely happy and blissful and feeling like that. But I went through that for a long period, and now I'm not. Now there's a small change. I'm not sure what changed. That's my present state, but now I'm lacking all interest. Like,
Yeah.
the feeling.
Yeah. See, usually,
What is
usually people respond when something challenging happens in their life, and they want to find out what's the meaning of life, where I'm going, what I'm doing. These are called existential issues, right? People want to know. Maybe they wake up sometimes, and then sometimes life kind of puts them in a position where they have to question, or you're just simply interested, nothing else. Just want to know. It depends upon how deeply your intention about that is. The flip side of it is when you really walk that path and realize what is in you, uh, what are you really, then the complexity of life really changes. There's clarity, there is joy, there is immanent divinity that you see in everybody. So you will get along better. All those things happen because that's why turning inward is not a dumb thing. you know it's more like a very challenging thing. And then we don't have to judge anybody just because they did not turn inward. But what do we want to, like I said, Sivagnan Jiva Seva, what does mean is that angel, you have that inner divine self, isn't it? So I feel like human life is to realize the divinity and then manifest it in life. That means I'm not working for myself, but I'm working for the universe.
So when you say manifest, you are plugging in some.
Yeah.
So from where you take, will you source it? Like, where will you take those things? Now I feel in a state like where I don't have any feel like having any manifestation of any kind.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it comes to people, different people, right? And also, for example, Nobel laureates we were talking about last night, they committed suicide and all that. Why? Because they thought what they achieve outwardly, that is the ultimate of life. It has meaning, but then they don't realize the inner world is much more rewarding. And that is what I learned from the ancient wisdom. Okay. That there is a inner happiness, that is real happiness, there is peace, and then there is a lot of bliss, and a really human being has the privilege to realize that. And once you that means by alone you travel by into the inward self. But at the same time, you're going to relate to people a little better because you see the same thing in them too. They may not have realized, that's fine, but you realize that. And so even if they, like my patients, they come, right? So I like to see that spark of light in them, and then everything else. I don't see gender or something like an economic situation, social situation, color, none of it, country, and all that. Okay, so I'm not able to see them because these are all filters for me over the real being and everybody. So once I see that, then all these filters fall off, then I accept them for what they are. You see? And then
just like so.
yeah, I mean that light is not there, they're not there, right? So you just relate to that light. We don't, different religions calls it different names, but you don't have to. It's a life force. Without that, we are not here. And that is the one which lights our mind. It's like a moonlight. Mind have the light is moonlight, but real light comes from within your inner self. Okay, that kind of, like a sun, it throws the light, self-luminous. It throws a light on the mind, but then we are happy with the moonlight. That's where we are losing out, I think, but once you realize that light is there in everybody, otherwise they are not there, then you don't have any judgments against it. You accept them for what they are, and then they also feel like that love coming from you, you know and then they respond to that. So life can be pretty beautiful, even in the presence of enormous suffering and all that. Life can be pretty beautiful.
Yep, true. Yeah, as I mentioned, I really felt this like very like happiness in in every very minute, every small thing.
Yeah.
Like enjoying the nature, and
Yeah.
like I could see much better.
Yes.
Like I have never seen a tree like really close in
Yeah.
in my street.
That's it.
With my street now, I'm able to see that.
Yeah, there's so much beauty around, you see. I was telling the story the other day, Angel. I don't know if you are there in the room or not. This kid sits in the garden, feels lonely because his parents are died. Both of them died recently, right? And he's in an ashram. And this teacher comes and says, "Hey guy, why are you sad?" Then he tells him, "I lost my parents. I feel alone." Then he says, "Can you hear that bird flying?" "Yeah." "Can you hear the fish swimming in the pond?" "Yeah." "Can you see the beetle around you?" "Yeah." "Can you see so many things?" He shows like that. He says, when there's so much life around you, how is that you are not connected with that? See, that's what happens if you are not in the victim of the mind. Then you can see that the small things are also beautiful, right? So having the touch with the nature is a wonderful, Angel. And other thing is, being humane means this is what it is. Not your weaknesses, but it is the possibilities that can happen.
Yeah, that's true. But the thing that I identified, it is kind of a graph. Like
Yeah.
it's really fluctuating the awareness. Like
Yeah.
When it's there, it's completely blissful, peaceful.
Yeah, that's why the sadhana, that means practice, is needed. So that's why this morning and evening times are important. So what I kind of show people in my wellness club in the morning and the evening is just be in the present. That 1 hour is a exercise of awareness. Even though we are doing asanas, we are doing breathing exercise, we are doing meditation, all that, but underlyingly, are you present here and now or not?
Yeah.
So people tell me different things. They have memories, they have hurtful things, they have good things, or they are planning something important coming up, something like that. But I tell them, that's all not here now. Here, pay attention to your presence. And then carry that like a perfume through the day. For me, if the meditation is not working through their life, it has no meaning. So that's why Krishnamurti taught me that. So I kind of want to do that. And then in the evening, because of the life, we have so many things accumulated in our mind, right? So we want to empty that and go to sleep. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the practice. Like,
Yeah, that's the practice.
An ongoing process we have to do.
Yeah, morning, daytime, and the evening. 3 things I'm talking about.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thanks. Thank you for giving such good clarity.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's why we are here, just to exchange our experiences. Okay.
Yeah, so like as you mentioned, there was a big drive I had
Yeah.
to because I felt like to transcend myself, like evolve.
Yeah.
Like I had a great period of time where I was really peaceful, blissful, and being more interactive to everyone. And
Yeah.
at that point, I felt like it's a time of transformation.
Yeah.
I'm getting like the person that I was before is not there anymore.
Yeah.
I saw that there's a transformation happening in the whole my body.
Transformation, Angel, is for the mind. What you are is already light.
So there is nothing to evolve or nothing to transform.
No. The only thing is identifying with what you are, not with your mind. That's where our thinking strays us. Just use it for life purpose, but then not to. The mind is the one which wants to be transformed, which wants to be trained and all that. But once you realize the underlying is what it is, and you don't have to do anything. Only thing is you got to realize that. Realize means that it's already there. Like I was talking about, avarna means covering over. What you are is covered by your ego and personality. Take that away. That needs attention to mind, understanding the activity of mind, and understanding there is no real mind, only thoughts. And we are already realized, but we don't know that. That's why we are kind of pursuing a path and all that. Ramana Maharshi said beautifully about this. He said, you are in your house, but you think you have to travel, get out and do about 4 blocks and come back, and then you are finding your house. It's like that.
Okay, you're already staying there, but you can't. You feel like you have to go somewhere.
Yeah. I was very surprised when I first heard that. He said, you're already realized, but you think you are not. That's the problem.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a good point. Thank you for that.
Okay. Angela, how are you?
How are you, doctor, tonight? I came back today as well.
Very good.
I love these rooms.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a good discussion today too. We went into a lot of things, and then I did the exercise also. And I was just telling Angel about that in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. Angel, if you did not do the exercise, go back. This is replay there, so you can go back and listen to that. Okay.
Thank you. I will. I will replay it.
Yeah, yeah. Angela, you had very nice questions the other day. We had a good discussion. So I'm happy even if people come and they ask good questions, then we can really express what we want to. And then people may catch it on the replays. So.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you have to say today, Angela? Anything? You want to ask us something or?
Silence for me is fear. It's fear because I think that it will come whenever we die. We stop listening to vibrations and start feeling lonely. And for example, I love music, and I think music is a way of God showing us its face. So I don't know how to interpret silence.
And music is a sound of the God. That's true. But what it is silence is a real language of the divinity. What it is you don't bring on the silence artificially. What happens is when you see the noise for what it is, and then noise fades away, and then you have this inner deep peace and happiness as silence. So that is the nectar. I enjoy music, like I'm playing music now. I enjoy music, but what is underneath? Is there a movement of thought, or unpurposefully, unconsciously, and it becomes like a compulsive thing? That is what we are talking about. Because a lot of people have this mental chatter. They come to me and tell me that they can't stop it. They cannot really understand what it is. They get into some drink or some smoking, some drugs, and all of that, right? So that is the basic. But then once you really understand the level of silence we are talking about, then a lot more will be conveyed in that silence rather than the words. So all you have to understand is my thought is not happening all by itself and really weakening me because it has become such a compulsive thing. I cannot. My own sister, she's 80 years old, but she has these compulsive thoughts about all her life way back, and she cannot stop them because she is focusing on the wrong thing. She's focusing on the thought. What I am focusing on the inner self, which is awareness. When you are aware, your mind is silent and you are in awareness, and that's a beautiful thing. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you, Doctor. As always, so insightful and intelligent from you, that response. Thank you so much.
Well, I think we are beyond the time today. Can we close now? Actually, I've opened 10 minutes earlier. So I'm here till the time. So altogether, yeah, 1 hour, 29 minutes on my restream flow. So thanks, Angela. But I'm good to do this the 7th day. So till 40 days altogether, right? So I'll be here every day. So whoever comes, I appreciate them. And I loved the talk today. A lot of things we talked about. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow again. It's a 7 Central. Okay.
Great. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.